KTU Cares, a salute to local heroes.
What kind of world do you want? Think anything. History starts now.
Good morning. My name is Cindy Vero, and thank you so much for listening to the KTU Cares program. Every week, I have the pleasure of getting the chance to speak with people doing fantastic things in the community. Whether they're putting together a charity event, a fundraiser, or there's somebody in the community doing great things to make a big difference within the community, well, KTU Cares is here to highlight the hometown heroes within our communities and raise awareness about what you're so passionate about. KTU Cares is here for you. Simply go to KTU.com, keyword KTU Cares, send me an email with all of the information in regards to that person making a big difference in the community or the event. KTU Cares would love to be part of the involvement. Again, KTU.com, keyword KTU Cares. And joining me in studio this morning, I welcome Marissa Spagnoletti and Dr. John Connor and Christine Alger. Dr. Connor will be joining us on behalf of the Children of China Pediatrics Foundation, and Marissa will be discussing the second annual handbag auction, Thursday, June 5th, 7 o'clock, Hanover Manor, Eagle Rock Avenue in East Hanover, New Jersey. And it's all to benefit the Maurice J. Spagnoletti Rehabilitation Program. And money raised will help send medical teams to China to perform life-changing surgeries on orphans with disabilities and expand the rehabilitation program. And Christine will definitely get into more details about this exciting event coming up on June 5th. For more info and to get your tickets, visit ChinaPediatrics.org. Good morning, and thank you, everybody, for joining me this morning on the KTU Cares program.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Cindy. Thank you so much for having us and supporting our cause. We are here to support the Children of China Pediatrics Foundation, the Maurice Spagnoletti Rehabilitation Program, and we are excited about our upcoming handbag auction.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks, Christine, and Dr. Connor's joining us on the phone, and let's just jump right in. Marissa, explain what you're doing at KTU Cares this morning.
I am the wife and widow of Maurice J. Spagnoletti,
I'm so sorry.
and I have the privilege to be here at KTU. I'm a very loyal fan, so is my daughter. And through Dr. Connor, who is my savior, he is my daughter's kidney surgeon, I became acquainted with CCPF, which is the Children of China Pediatric Foundation, which Dr. Connor and Gina Palumbo started 14 years ago. Gina's an amazing woman who adopted a child from China. And when my husband so tragically passed away almost 3 years ago, thank God I had my wits about me. So many Americans wanted to help my daughter and I. I directed people to send their very generous donations to CCPF. And then I learned about a year ago or 2 years ago from Dr. Connor. It's hard for me to talk about Dr. Connor without crying. He means so much to me.
I understand, Marissa. It's all right.
That they wanted to honor my husband by naming the ongoing efforts at CCPF, the Maurice J. Spagnoletti Rehabilitation Program.
Beautiful.
And that is my privilege. And I told Dr. Connor that one day, when I was finally on my feet, that I would find a way to really help him to do work. I'm a sales and marketing director for a great company who has stood by me. And so my little idea, I have an obsession. It's more than an obsession, my brother-in-law says, of handbags.
Don't we all, Marissa?
My husband had finally made it. He was the CEO of a bank. And all he ever wanted to do was give back. So I said, what am I going to do with these handbags? I just wanted to help other people. So I said I wanted to donate them to raise money. And my friends, I have to acknowledge and thank all of my family, my friends, the strangers who have helped me and my daughter, and all the people helping my daughter with her ongoing medical issues to help me now show other people a roadmap of recovery, of how any tragedy or illness or hardship, you can build a new life, especially when you have a child. And mine has to really be devoted to my husband and his memory. And I really view these children in China as my own and helping them, getting the desperately needed medical care. Dr. Connor, Dr. Roy, Dr. Kim, they are truly heroes. They spend their time helping these children. And all I want to do, and I'm so lucky and grateful to meet you, Cindy.
The honor is all here, Marissa, really. Thank you. Please.
Is educate people on what we're doing. My daughter lost her father, but she has me, and she has Dr. Connor and a whole team of doctors. She now says one day she's going to be a Dr. Connor. I hope so, and help other people.
Thank you, Marissa, for sharing and being so brave. And Dr. Connor?
I met Marissa and Maurice a number of years ago when Lucy had some issues, and Maurice, he happened to see some literature I had about the Children of China Pediatrics Foundation, and he was such a wonderful man and a huge heart. He immediately wanted to get involved. So we were at that time talking about ways to get him more involved. In fact, having coming on the board of DCPF, and unfortunately his tragic death made that impossible, but thankfully Marissa is continuing his legacy of generosity towards the foundation. And we had started a new program where our normal program prior to this was to go to Chinese initially we went to the orphanages, set up an operating room in the orphanages in some of the more rural parts of China. The limiting factor was the complexity of surgeries that we could do in that situation. So in the last 7 or 8 years, we've partnered with Chinese hospitals and more specifically pediatric hospitals to allow us to do much more complicated surgeries. And it also has allowed us to do much more on the education side. And probably the biggest advantage of the work we do is not only a direct impact on the children we operate on, but in every surgery we have 2 or 3 Chinese doctors assisting, and we teach techniques to, and they then continue those technical skills when they're operating on the orphan children that are, one, the children we've operated on that take care of after we leave, and then they also have the skills to continue that surgery on other orphan children in China. So that was the initial part of the program, and then we decided we wanted to try and do something that would increase our reach a little bit, and we certainly feel the education side does part of that. But there's a lot of children in the orphanages who are severely disabled, who are not candidates for any kind of surgical fix, but are certainly candidates for techniques to help make their life much better, including techniques we can provide, training in how to make appropriate prosthesis for these children who are severely disabled, often are amputees from major road traffic accidents that are just abandoned and left to these orphanages, and also a large number of children with cerebral palsy. And for the last few years, with the help of Marissa, we've set up this rehabilitation program where we take specialists from the U.S. in all forms of rehabilitation medicine, bring them directly into the orphanage, and have them train the caregivers, both the medical and more specifically the non-medical caregivers, because there is a significant small number of physicians in the institution, but a very large number of very caring, very motivated caregivers who just need a little bit more technical training, and they have a huge impact on the quality of life of the children in these orphanages. Marissa's fundraising has increased its team size dramatically, and as Marissa said, we're certainly open, if we can get the funding, to bring this program to orphanages, not just in China, but in other parts of the world where we think we'll have a much more direct impact on the lives of a huge number of children by using the education we can provide.
Explain to the KTU Cares audience what type of doctor you are.
Yeah, I'm a pediatric urologist, which is a pediatric surgeon that specializes in the surgery of children with kidney, bladder, some bowel, and genital anomalies or abnormalities. Usually children who are born with severe abnormalities of these systems.
Thank you so much, Dr. Connor. Go ahead, Marissa.
Before finding Dr. Connor, we were stumbling with what was wrong with my daughter. And I just want to say, I'm sure everybody out there thinks their doctor is the best, but Dr. Connor truly is. And my daughter will tell you that she has such a fondness for him, and it is his compassion. And he treats every child with such stellar care. And my husband really, shortly before he died, he had made it. He was at the top of his game. You have to understand, my husband grew up poor. Mm-hmm. He worked his way up. And I don't even know if Dr. Connor knows this, but Maurice said to me, sit down, Marissa, read about this and what he does. He's such a hero. And in my lifetime, I'm going to help him in a big way. And I really believe that when your audience hears this, they will want to help, because we have so many dreams, Cindy. And they've given me a future that shows me that I can dream and help others. And one of the things that we're doing is there's so many ways to honor Maurice. He was just so exceptional. He really believed in helping all children in need. It's my wish now as a single parent. I work, taking care of my daughter, she's my life, to show people a way. We have so many caregivers in this country, nurses, doctors, babysitters, parents, helping children with all special needs. And I just want to be strength for other people and make sure that every American, everybody all over the world has the help that the Spagnoletti family has had. And I think if we have that and we work together, that's really where you find hope and faith.
Well, Marissa, to touch on your daughter a moment here, how did you and your daughter become connected to Dr. Connor?
She had some medical issues. If it's okay with you, I don't...
No, that's totally fine, Marissa.
I don't like to talk too much about her because she is 9 going on 21 and she will be a grown-up one day. And
sure.
dealing with this tragedy has been enormous. She has trauma. I had 6 pediatric psychiatrists refuse to help me. If it wasn't for Dr. Connor, she would not have gotten the help she needed. And, these are the things that I can talk publicly about because from day one, when I found out that my husband was killed, somehow I thought of all the Americans every day that are victims of violence, let alone caring for children with special needs. And who's their voice? And I want to be their voice and help them because we all have to stand. We should pray together, and we welcome people from all faiths, whatever guides you and gives you morality. I have come to see, Cindy, that the faith that I have and the love for my husband is so much stronger than the evil that killed him. And there's just so much we can do. My daughter is doing remarkable. She's playing tennis. You don't recover from loss. It's not like what people think. My husband cannot be replaced. I have been to Washington, D.C. I will not stop until justice comes, and justice will come. So what I want to do is focus on what can we do as average American. I consider myself a fat and average Italian Jersey girl, and I'm so proud. But
You're not alone, Marissa.
I love my donuts. I love donuts.
You're in good company.
But how can we help? What can we do? Because every American is so stellar. When people look at me, Cindy, and say, oh, how are you doing this? I am just a reflection of all of you. I am a reflection of the good and honest people who didn't even know Maurice and want to help.
I mean, where do you find your strength from after what your family went through? Where do you find the strength?
Honestly, when it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm crying my eyes out because my husband's not there. My daughter to this day doesn't sleep. You have to understand he was her hero, and she doesn't understand so much. I find strength from all of you, from the Dr. Connors of the world, from the people at my company, from Barb. I never knew Barb. I just met Christine, who is doing an extraordinary job helping me promote June 5th. So many Americans, they care so much. I tell everybody, we have a corporate sponsorship program now, and you know what? Warren Buffett, if you're out there and you want to give me $1 billion, I'll take it. But I had a woman in Kansas give me $10 in an envelope, and that meant so much to me. She heard our story and how much we want to help these children. So my strength is derived from all of you because he was the love of my life. My husband was just everything to my daughter and I. And, he was killed in Puerto Rico, and I want to send a very loud message to Puerto Rico. I love the people of Puerto Rico. They were so kind to us. And I tell everyone, I got this phone call right after he died, and it was an elderly woman, and she wanted to know. She had seen his picture in the newspaper. How could this happen, she said. My husband, and we would get these rainstorms, and please go to Puerto Rico and visit those lovely beaches. It's an extraordinary place. And
was he there on business?
Yes, he was there on business, and we were living there temporarily.
Okay.
But this woman said that just a few days prior, it was raining, a downpour. She was at the street getting soaking wet in his Lexus. He got out of the car in his suit, gave up his umbrella, walked her across the street, got soaking wet, got back in his car. That was my husband. He was such a good man, and he just wanted to give back. And since I can't live without him, I've decided that his love is still with me, and I need to give back and help everybody else. If I could on my own provide medical care today to every child in this whole world, that's what I would do. Because my daughter is so blessed. Dr. Connor showed up. I can publicly say I have severe memory loss. I don't remember a lot of that time period.
Sure.
But I remember Dr. Connor showing up at the wake and giving me his cell phone and saying, Lucy will be fine. She wasn't fine. She had a kidney infection at that time. And if you think I'm remarkable, I am not. But my daughter is. And 3 years later, people come to my home and they say it's a shrine to my husband. It is. He will never be forgotten. And he lives on in all of us helping. And I just can't stress enough how grateful I am to all of you. I could sit here and name so many people. I did have protection 24/7 and that story, what that was like. Again, I considered myself average. And people would come to my home and make sure my daughter had play dates. They never once said, excuse me, you have all the guards here and my children can't play with your daughter. They were so open and welcoming, and really the state of New Jersey welcomed us home with open arms, and I just love New Jersey. I love this country, and I'm just so positive about my future, and I want others to feel the same way.
Dr. Connor, if I could ask, how many years have you been involved with CCPF?
Yeah, I've been involved with CCPF from its inception about 14 years ago. Started by Gina Palumbo about 14 years ago. She was one of her children who she adopted from China. I was full-time at Columbia University, and she had a child who needed some care. And to those connections, we set up this foundation. It's been expanded dramatically since that time, but I've been working with it for about 14 years and usually go to China once or twice a year with the foundation.
You're listening to KTU Cares, and joining me in studio this morning, I have Marissa Spagnoletti and Dr. John Connor and Christine Alger. Dr. Connor is joining us on behalf of the Children of China Pediatrics Foundation, and Marissa will be discussing the second annual handbag auction, Thursday, June 5th, 7 o'clock, Hanover Manor, Eagle Rock Avenue in East Hanover, New Jersey. And it's all to benefit the Maurice J. Spagnoletti Rehabilitation Program in honor of Marissa's late husband. And money raised will help send medical teams to China to perform life-changing surgeries on orphans with disabilities and expand the rehabilitation program. And Christine will definitely get into more details about this exciting event coming up on June 5th. For more info and to get your tickets, visit ChinaPediatrics.org. And Dr. Connor, what about the rehabilitation program?
The rehabilitation program, we conceptually wanted to start about 5 years ago. It took some time to get the funding together to do it, to get the personnel together to do it. And the program now is designed to visit orphanages so that the impact of care is maximized. Rather than doing it in a specialized center, by going directly into the orphanages, we can teach both the physicians and nurses in the orphanages, which are few in number, and more importantly, the other non-medical caregivers, how to give best care and best practices in dealing with children with severe disabilities. From simple things like preventing bed sores to more complicated things with ambulation strategies, making sure these kids get appropriate educational assistance. And that program started in full force about 2 years ago, and each year we're expanding it dramatically. We bring a large team of specialists from the United States, physical speech therapists, physical therapists, specialists in manufacturing and preparation of prosthetics and orthotics for these children, and then just trying to teach the caregivers the best way to help these children ambulate and be educated.
So, Dr. Connor, can you give the KTU Cares audience maybe some examples, some statistics at all?
Yeah, I mean, over the years, we've done over 500 surgeries. These are direct connection with children's surgeries that we have done. In that same period, we have educated more than 1,000 Chinese medical caregivers to direct participation in the surgeries, and then each mission will have a significant number of lectures on advanced techniques that we will also share with the Chinese colleagues. And the education goes both ways. They have some techniques that we haven't seen before, so we try and make it a very interactive educational experience both for ourselves and the Chinese physicians. And I think, probably one of the major differentiators for our program and a number of the other charitable programs is the degree of educational focus that we have. Because I think to have maximal benefit, you really need to leave something behind, and both in the post-operative care of the children for a long extended period, because we do very complicated surgeries. We teach the Chinese physicians how to take care of the children in the post-op period, and then we also educate them on the techniques so that they can then use these techniques on their own patients, and then we make sure that there's a significant number of orphan children in that patient population.
Dr. Connor, can you get into detail about the last orphanage you went to and what you saw?
Yeah, so the orphanage that we visited was one of the bigger orphanages in Chengdu in the Sichuan province, and it had cared for over 600 children, the majority of whom had significant disabilities, and over 100 had cerebral palsy.
And Doctor, what types of surgeons do you take on your team?
Yeah, we started this initially with pediatric urologic surgery and orthopedics. We have since expanded it to, we brought pediatric hand surgeons, we've brought pediatric neurosurgeons on these trips, we still have a huge pediatric orthopedic component. The last few years we've extended that to include very complicated spine surgeries. A lot of the children over there haven't had any correction of severe scoliosis or spinal curvature, and it causes dramatic problems for them both with breathing and ambulation. And we've had some very complicated reconstructive back surgeries with Dr. Roy. We've done very complicated pediatric general and pediatric urologic surgeries surgeries over there. We've added hand surgery and now neurosurgery to the mix. We have significant number of plastic surgeons who come with us for cleft lip, cleft palate repairs. So fairly extensive surgeries, pretty much almost all of the major areas of pediatric surgery we have covered. And again, it's most of the other charities focus on just one type of surgery. We try to be a much larger degree of surgery, and we certainly do a lot of very complicated surgery, which I think is important given our mission to sort of increase educational experience over there and share some of these more complicated techniques with the Chinese physicians.
How do you care for the total child and help that child grow? And I think that Dr. Connor so clearly articulates our mission to provide all kinds of care, and the education piece that Dr. Connor speaks of in educating doctors to provide whatever is necessary that a child, especially an orphan child with no parents, will need, to me is such a compelling need and such a compelling way for all of us to help and really be connected to each other and see the amazing good. I have not had the privilege to go to China. I was too sick this past winter, but I pray I will go next year to go and help. I want other people to understand we would accept a monetary donation, but we can expand, like Dr. Connor said, in having new doctors join us, providing medical care, what other needs. I know last year we collected crayons and coloring books, just creating awareness for this and what we're doing and how we can expand and how people can help.
Dr. Connor, why did you choose CCPF?
Inspired actually by Gina and in her description of the conditions that she found when she visited the orphanage where she adopted her daughter. At the time, and certainly the Chinese government has done a lot more recently, and they've really expanded their care. But at that time, these children got minimal access to health care. Again, because of the one-child policy in China at the time, most of the children in the orphanages had severe disabilities, especially the male children. And they were getting very little in the way of operative care. So we decided it was something we'd be able to impact. And again, I think from the very start, we felt that just operating on a child, while great, didn't have the multiplier effect that we wanted. We really wanted to try and educate the physicians there on some of these techniques so that they could, when we left, continue the care of these children. That certainly has been, I think, one of the most gratifying parts of this, because we do have a lot of follow-up with physicians. We do have a fellowship program where we invite Chinese doctors to come to the U.S. for extended periods of training in more specialized areas, and that over the years has grown and grown, and I think it's a huge part. These physicians then go back to their home provinces and home hospitals and have a commitment to operate on orphans as well as their own patients. And that has, I think, really helped multiply the effect of the organization in China.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Connor. I truly appreciate it. We're going to switch gears a moment here and talk about an exciting event that's coming up on June 5th. Christine, you want to break down the event details and what the KTU Cares listeners can expect?
Wonderful handbag auction, which is going to take place on June 5th at the Hanover Manor, and it begins at 7 p.m., And how you can support, well, you could buy a ticket. Tickets are $65 per person and includes a buffet dinner, beverages, desserts, live music, and DJ. And handbag donations and sponsorships are also available. Proceeds will benefit the Spagnoletti Rehabilitation Program. And what else is great about this is not only will you be able to view and auction and the bidding and all the wonderful designer handbags, which I believe, Marissa, correct me if I'm wrong, how many are we having?
Well, we are getting close to 200.
200?
Yes, designer.
Tori Birch, I recently had the privilege to meet Barbara Bradley Bacard, who is the owner of Vero Bradley, who stepped up, donated bags, and we're going to discuss with her partnering. I met a woman in Florida, in Marco Island. I will show you. Each recipient is going to receive an incredible bracelet and charm, and so that alone will cover your $65 ticket. Again, she runs a handbag and accessory business in Marco Island. I was there on business. Just said, here you go, Marissa. Let me give you a whole bunch of bags. The lady next door said, let me step up, donate. So we have bags, Cindy, that are everyday run-of-the-mill, $50. Sure. We up to exclusive bags from Milan, Coach. We had Saks donate a few bags. I personally, every year, take the money that I would have donated to CCPF. My husband is gone. His salary is gone. I had to find a way to make sure that forever in my lifetime, I will give this money, and how can I grow it? I'm a marketing director by trade. So we sell the handbags at auction. It's so fun. And they sell for as minimal as $15 up to a few $100s, but all of them usually sell for below the retail value. So all you gorgeous, hot Jersey ladies out there,
come out and get your handbags.
Come out and get your handbags. That night, we take credit cards, cash, check. Bring your boyfriend. You know, the men and the husbands last year was hysterical, Cindy. I would love to have you as my guest with your husband. We had a bidding war on some of the bags. So we have a handbag for everybody, but more important, we do some education awareness about CCPF. Dr. Connor will be our speaker this year. It's my privilege that he will be doing that. And it's just a night of fun and food in East Hanover, New Jersey, right off of 280. We accept gently used handbags. So my dream is to continue to grow this and find other ways to help this charity and other charities, because every woman has a bag in their closet, Cindy.
That's just sitting there.
Thank you.
We have all, I have so many of them, believe me. Exactly. And just think, you could change a life by supporting this event and this cause. So, I mean, it's a win-win for everyone.
And you will get a letter for the retail value of those handbags. So it is a tax, it is a donation, and it's just a way. Like I said, sadly, I would give away clothes and money and jewelry, but handbags I never parted until my husband passed away. And I said, you know what? This is my asset. This is what I will give away to help this amazing cause. And I have to tell you, last year we raised, my first event, $30,000 for our cause.
Excellent.
Pure profit by all these wonderful people, women and men, stepping up.
Can I add something?
Of course.
I am honored to work for this wonderful group of people and this organization and help. And my heart goes out to everything, the cause, the mission of what the organization's doing, the foundation, your rehabilitation program. So for me, this has touched my life in a personal way. Absolutely. And I will be there bidding and supporting, and we hope you are too. And for those of you listening, we'd like for our listeners to hopefully visit ChinaPediatrics.org, and you could purchase your ticket there. In addition, there are other ways to support. You could buy a ticket. There's corporate sponsorships, any denomination. It could be changing your pocketbook. It could be anything. It is greatly appreciated and accepted, and the proceeds will definitely benefit the program. And feel free again to donate a handbag. And with that being said, in the end, we'd like to also give a big shout out to Cindy Vero and KTU, because this opportunity couldn't be possible without you. So thank you so much. I am a big fan of KTU, and personally and professionally, thank you.
When my husband passed away, it was so hard, and for quite a while I didn't listen to music, I'm ashamed to say. And he did not die on my birthday, by the way. That's false. He died on June 15th. I learned about it on June 16th, which is my birthday. But that Christmas, my daughter was only 6. I said, that's it. We have to start having music. My husband loved music. So I started listening to country music because the stories got me out of my tragedy and thinking of other things. And the very first radio station we started listening to, and we are listening to today, is KTU. I listen to, I gotta say, I do. I listen to War of the Roses. I listen to Knock on Your Neighbor. And I am a loyal fan, but in the words of my daughter, who could not be here today, I said, what should I tell Cindy? And she said, Mom, tell her she's amazing. Aww. And music is really the way to heal. And so I thank you, and I hope you know what an angel you are to so many people out there who have probably a similar story to mine. Please reach out to me and let me help you. I am such a believer. There are so many charities out there that I support, that I believe in. It's my dream one day to start the Maurice J. Spagnoletti Foundation, which will always honor CCPF. But there's so many causes I want to get involved with more. And again, I just want my message to be one of really positive inspiration.
It truly is. I mean, you walk away hearing your story, Marissa, and how could you just not be affected by it? And your generosity is incredible and very strongly felt, carrying on Maurice's legacy in such a brilliant way. And I'll be honored to join you at your event June 5th at the Hanover Manor. I will see you there, and I will bid like crazy.
All right.
Thank you. You really gonna come? You're really going to come?
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
Definitely,
She's
definitely.
coming.
I'll be there.
She'll be there.
And your daughter is the angel. You're both angels on earth, and you have angels watching over you in heaven.
Thank you.
So bless you and your family for everything that you went through.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming to KTU and sharing your story.
Thank you so
Sometimes
much.
it's so hard to find the words to say because loss is so hard, but the magnitude that you got this loss brought into your life, there's a lesson to be learned from it, in some way, shape, or form. And the only way I could say is you've invested your energy and the powers that you have into something awesome to help so many kids and so many people. You're a true warrior, and I got to clap it up for you. You and your family.
And I have to thank my family.
You're brave for coming on and talking and sharing the story.
And
Changing
again,
lives.
Thank you so much for your time today.
I hope as many people get to this event as can, and if you can't get to the event, please go on the website, ChinaPediatrics.org.
Dr. Connor, thank you so much for joining us today. I truly appreciate it. And I'll see you on the 5th.
Thank you, Cindy.
One more thank you out to Christine Alger, Barb Eddington at CCPF. Another angel Barb found. Christine is an angel, helping us put CCPF out there and create awareness. And I cannot thank you enough, Christine, for helping to promote this amazing charity and for bringing us here today. You're just another angel doing work with us here, and I am really privileged to have you help me. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I'm honored. Like I said, you've touched my life too. So thank you for the opportunity.
Anytime, ladies. See you on the 5th.
That's it. Let's get our bidding ready.
Yeah,
That's
baby.
it.